Welcome everybody to another episode of Ramsey's Rockin' Roads. We're here once again, I think this is Shane and I's favorite part. I'm here with Funny Boy Shane, and I think this is our favorite place to be, Waller Park. It seems like we find a different spot, but we always come back here. So today I'm gonna talk about something that sits true to most people. It's one of these things that we don't really like to talk about, but we kind of have to talk about it. It's something that's going on in California that happens nowhere else in the world, as I believe, as scientists have proven, and as psychologists have proven as well. 20% of our success that we see in life comes from how good we are at our job. 80% of our success we experience in life comes from how good we are with working with people, interacting with people. How is our customer relations? So, you could be mediocre at your job, but good with people, you're gonna be successful. Look at me. I'm mediocre at my job, but I'm good with people, and I would say I've had some element of success. On the other side, you can be really good at your job, but bad with people, and you're probably just gonna be able to barely keep your job, and that's about it. So anyway, I'm gonna jump right in with that opening statement, with that opening comment, with that opening idea. I'm gonna jump right into something that's kind of a stigma in California, and something that we all of us business owners, not contractors. If you run a business and you have employees, this is something you have to deal with. And this is this thing called PAGA. We're all dealing with it. And it's the let me see if I get this right, Private Attorney General Act. And this is giving a little back history on it. Back in the day, the government took care of regulating all companies, making sure they did everything right, paperwork, make sure they took care of their employees, okay, that was part of the government or the state of California. That's what they did. Now they did this PAGA thing to where attorneys can regulate it for the state of California. And this is just another revenue stream for these attorneys, and it's a huge revenue stream for the state of California. And at the end of the day, the employees get very, very little. I mean, the employees are being told they're going to get a lot, they're going to get this, they're going to get that, they're going to be able to buy a new house, but in reality, they're not. And I'm going to go a little bit into that because I've had a couple of little experiences. I mean, I have friends that are going through this deeper than I ever have, and I'm going to give you guys some scenarios that I find kind of interesting. Factual, facts, no BS, no lies, no opinion. I'm just going to give you guys the facts of what I know, and there's so much more that I don't know, but I'm just going to tell you guys what I do know. And so let's talk about it from the employee side first. So in California, there's certain things that have to be on the employee's time card. They have to have the last 4 digits of the social, any vacation time or sick time that gets accrued, that has to be on their pay stub. And all the basics, their hours, their rate of pay, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff has to be on their check stub. Now, on the business side, the business has to keep track of hours, lunches, overtime, meal breaks, rest breaks. That's on the employer side to take care of that. Well, where this PAGA comes in, or where this thing comes in that all of us business owners never really understood until now, is when you make a little tiny mistake, it compounds. So there's a fine. Old PAGA states it compounds. New PAGA is a little different. So old PAGA, and I'm going to go into a scenario that one of my friends had. Old PAGA is, I'm going to give you guys an example. If you don't log meal breaks, that's a $500 per week fine per employee for as far back as it goes. And I think there's a statute of limitations of like 3 years. So for 3 years, $500 a day per employee. And if you have 10 employees, do the math. The numbers are staggering. If you have 100 employees, it's even more staggering. I mean, that literally will put you out of business. So it's these little clerical errors is what really PAGA is all about. Now, if you're not paying your guys properly, if you're not paying them prevailing wages, if you're not paying them overtime, if you're not paying them properly, that's a whole nother thing. This PAGA stuff is just clerical stuff, as far as I know. As far as I know, it's all clerical stuff. And so as employers, I'm trying to leave, I want to say contractors all the time, but as employers, we need to make sure that we're documenting everything correctly. Now, the state says, employers, we're not expecting, even though your employees are suing you, we are not expecting them to know what days they worked. We're not expecting them to know anything. It's on the business, it's the business's responsibility, it's on the employer's responsibility, it is the employer's responsibility to produce all the documentation. As soon as you produce the documentation, they look at it and say, oh, you didn't log this, you didn't log this, you didn't log this, here are the fines, but for one low price, we'll settle for this. And that's usually 99 times out of 100, that's usually what happens. Now, the reason why I started out with a statement of employee-employer relations is, you employees out there, and I'm speaking to you employees, and I have a lot of employees, and I love my guys, and I love my girls. If you guys would go to your employer, if you don't work there anymore, let's just say you do work there. If you would go to your employer and say, hey, I don't think this is quite right, and if they're in California, I'm only talking about California businesses here. If you go to your employer and say, hey, this is not right, what can we do to make it right? Talk about it. Employees, you're going to be financially further ahead. Now let's go to the other extreme. Let's say you don't work for the company anymore. I'm only addressing employees. You don't work for the company anymore, and you feel like there was some injustice, or you didn't get something, you heard from your brothers, uncles, cousins, mother, whatever, that, oh, you should have gotten this pay for this, whatever. Go talk to them. You as the employee are going to make out way better if you do that versus lawyering up, because the lawyers are going to tell you one thing, and today I'm going to give you the sad truth because it's facts. Now, something my CFO Mark told me the other day is, he's like, Scott, because I kind of get worked up about this stuff because I really try to take care of my people, and so I kind of get worked up about it, and Mark kind of talked me off the cliff, and he was like, Scott, you can walk outside our office and you can throw a rock, and wherever your rock hits, because we have businesses all around us, wherever your rock hits, guaranteed they're going through the same thing. It's just, it's almost like a pandemic in California right now. And that there are other reasons why companies are leaving California, but this is also a big part of it, is there's no way of avoiding it. No matter the best companies, they're going to get hit with this stuff. And the reason why I'm suggesting to the employees of the world out there, or the former employees of the world out there, to go talk to their former employers is, I'm going to run through this scenario. So a friend called me a couple weeks ago. He settled a case. He was going through PAGA, and it was so far along, it was almost going to be a class action, because there was the initial whistleblower, and there was about 70 other employees that were part of this, and it was kind of gearing up to be class action. No judge had certified it, so we don't really know, or he doesn't really know if it was going to be a class action or not. But for sure, the PAGA penalties and the PAGA claim was there, no matter what. There was some clerical issues, there was some minor stuff, and the initial, now these numbers, I tell you guys, are staggering, and this is the God honest truth, and I saw with my own eyes, my friend's accounting, and it's the truth. So from 2021, I believe, or 2020, 2021, the amount of PAGA violation and class action that they were going after him was, right, I think it was somewhere between 15 or 17 million. That's what the numbers came out to. That was just basic math. Like I said, $500 a day for 3 years times 70 employees. Those numbers are pretty staggering. Just do the math. So they started out when the two lawyers got together, defendant and plaintiff. The plaintiff is representing all these guys that are out there suing for PAGA. Defendant was my friend, the contractor. And when the two lawyers got together, defendant, prosecution, they get together right out of the gate. Hey, you're a big company. We want 17 million. And the guy was like, dude, I couldn't even get a loan for 17 million, let alone, I'm not going to, I mean, it's just, that's it. End of game. Game over. I'm out. I'm going to go look for a job. And so it went back and forth for a while. I don't know all the details, but it went back and forth for a while. And 2 weeks ago, it ended up settling, to my surprise, because I did not think that the amount that he was offering and, and the amount that they wanted was so far apart, millions apart, millions, tens of millions apart. So the amount they wanted and the amount that it settled for were so far apart. It was to my disbelief that it even settled. But there's stuff going on the back end that I don't know. But anyway, so to give you the details of it, as far as I know it, and I saw the accounting myself, it settled for, my friend's case settled for $200,000. Now I'm going to go down, my math might be off by a little bit because I'm just doing math on the fly here. So out of 200,000, the state got 110 right off the top. Right off the top, the state took their 110,000. The lawyer got 70,000. So how much does that leave? So 110, 70, that's 180, 20,000. The whistleblower got 10,000 cash. Now, the funny thing was, my friend said he had reached out to that guy. He had reached out to that guy and said, hey, I got to pay for mediation. I got to pay for this. I got to pay my lawyer. Why don't you and I just work it out and I'll just write you a check? Because it had been going on for 3 or 4 years. So he's like, dude, I'll write you a check. And this guy was being stubborn. He was like, oh no, my lawyer says I'm going to get millions out of this thing. I've already got my house picked out. I've already got my car picked out. He's going to retire on the Bahamas. Okay, whatever. So anyway, my friend tried to work it out with this guy over the last several years, but the lawyers are they're good sales guys. They're very conniving. They're very, whatever you want to say. I mean, there's a few choice words that I could probably say here, but I won't say it. But so getting back to the money, state 110, the lawyer I think was about 70. And then the whistleblower got 10,000 for being the whistleblower, kind of as a thank you from the state, because the state got 110,000 for nothing. Just because this poor guy didn't put lunch breaks down. Literally, because he didn't put lunch breaks down, he had to pay 200,000. So 110,000 to the state, 70,000 for the lawyer for their time, the fees and all that. The whistleblower got 10,000, and then the rest of the 10,000 or 20,000 or whatever's left over, my math is on the fly is not that great. Whatever, 20 or 30,000, whatever's left over, that got divided up amongst 70 guys. So each guy got $100 and something or $200 or something, or maybe 238 bucks or something like that. So it doesn't make sense. And the reason I talk about the relationships between employers is, don't you think, and I'm talking to the employees and I'm talking to the employers right now, don't you think your relationships are going to be a little tainted for the rest of your lives? The employer, along with the whistleblower, I mean, if they see each other in Albertsons or Vons or Walmart or Costco, they're going to avoid each other. Now, and then you have 70 other guys that got a check for a couple $100 and they were just waiting with their hands out. Don't you think that relationship is a little tainted, broken for the rest of their lives as well? For a couple $100. Me being an employer, me being an entrepreneur, me being a business owner, if all of those 70 guys had come to me and said, hey Scott, we think this and this, we think we should get 150, hell, I would go down and get them gift cards for Applebee's for 250 bucks. Hey, I apologize for this. I want to stay on good terms with you. Go take your family to Applebee's. Here's 250 bucks. Because you're going to get less than that from the PAGA. That's the truth. Now, all those facts are facts. Now, I know every case is different. This is just one case that I know about, that I have intimate knowledge of. I don't have all the details of it, but it's one case I have intimate knowledge of. But now the good thing, that's all the bad. Now, some of you contractors, some of you business owners might say, oh my God, $200,000 would put me out of business. Yeah, you're right. I don't care how big of a company you are, unless you're Apple or Google, $200,000 is a lot of money. But the nice thing with this PAGA thing, it takes a long time. So what my friend did, and actually he did this based on my suggestion. I was like, dude, it's going to take for them to get all of those 70 guys in, sign off on it, tell them their division of the money, blah, blah, blah. It's going to take them probably a year. And I told my friend, I said, dude, divide that money, divide 200,000 by 12 months. I'm sorry. I told him do it weekly. 12, because 10,000 a month is, or 20,000 a month is that's a lot of money for anybody. So I told him, I said, dude, just divide it up by the weeks. Divide 200,000 by 52, and there you go. Then it's less than 10,000 a week. And I told him, I said, just put it in a bank account. Put it in a bank account, because that was the first question he asked me. He's like, how am I going to come up with 200,000? And I said, this is how you're going to do it. It's going to take a long time for them to settle this thing out, for them to get the accounting done. Just put it into an account. Put it into an account, and just every week. And then if you get slow during the wintertime, stop during the wintertime, but then make up for it during the busy time, you'll have $200,000. I mean, we all do it. It's one of those things. A good example that I give people is, it's so funny to me when somebody wants to go buy a new car, they're like, oh my God, I cannot afford to buy a car for $50,000. So I'm going to finance it and I'm going to pay 10% interest. Okay. And they finance it for 5 years. Well, and they make the payment every month religiously, because they don't want to get that car repossessed. So they make that payment every month. Well, what would happen if they said, okay, I have a goal. I'm going to buy a car in 5 years, but I'm going to buy it cash. I'm going to put $750 in an account, you can't see it, because if you're staring at this money all the time, you're going to go to Disneyland, you're going to go to Disney World, you're going to go to the Bahamas, but you put it in an account you don't see, and you just put that money into an account, believe it or not, and then you're getting your own interest, or go get a stock account or something that pays, it gives 5, 6, 7% interest. So you're actually paying yourself. Within 3, 4, 5 years, you're going to have all the money you need to go buy a car. So anyways, same philosophy that I gave my friend. I just said, hey, dude, let's divide it by 12, because that's what his lawyer said. His lawyer says he needs to be prepared to pay for it within 12 months. And I said, that's fine. Let's just, he doesn't want to, he doesn't even think he can get a loan for 200,000. Cash, 200,000? No bank is going to give any business owner, let alone one of us contractors, a loan for 200,000. But anyway, so 200,000 over the next 12 months, it's a manageable amount of money. So anyway, 52 weeks, divide that up. I don't even know what it comes out to. What does it come out to? Like $5,000 a week or something like that? I said 10,000 a week, but that's too much. Anyway, so yeah, 52 weeks times 10,000, that's 520,000. Divide that, less than half. So it's like $4,500, $4,000, something like that. That is a manageable amount of money. Most mortgages are that much. Most rental payments are that much. So anyway, on this episode of PAGA, I gave you guys the good, I gave you guys the bad, I gave you the ugly, and it's not all bad, it's not all good. It's just part of doing business in California. And this is something we all need to be prepared for. But I think my message today goes out more to the employees that aren't as savvy. Keep your personal relations good. Keep your karma good. Keep your energy good. Talk to your business owners. Talk to them. Sit them down if you legitimately have a concern, because this is how I am. If somebody comes to me with a legitimate concern, I'm going to deal with it. Just the other week, and this is something that us paving contractors, now I'm going to go back to us paving contractors, something happened last week. We cleaned a parking lot. The dust and dirt blew over the fence, went on into another parking lot, and there was like 10 cars that got dust on them, and they were all up in arms about it. But then within a split second, we became a hero, because I called my estimator and I said, Anthony, go to the Splash and Dash, get some $5 car washes and go drop them off with those people at the business. And oh man, they were over the moon. They couldn't even believe it. And they just $5 for 30 cars. It was, $100, $150. It was no big deal. But that's just how you go from zero to hero in a matter of seconds. So in closing, I'm going to say, actually, in closing, I'm going to give you another story. This was a story that I heard before I started my company. This is a little story that I read because back when I started, there wasn't really internet, there wasn't really Google. So it just, you had to be old school and read a book. And there was a story that I heard about a toothpaste company. And I don't remember if it was Colgate or Crest or whoever it was. But anyway, they had a problem with one of their formulas. And nationally, they put out a batch that was no good. And Colgate or Crest, they had this decision. They said, okay, what do we do? Because what was happening is some people were having a reaction and some people were not having a reaction. So they said to themselves, what do we do? Do we just leave it out there and deal with the people that get sick? No, they did the right thing. They went through and they called every supplier and they said immediately, pull everything off the shelf. We're going to return all of the product we're going to pay to have all that product returned to our place of business, and we will replace all of it for no charge. Obviously, replace it for no charge. So the reason I tell that story is there is no way that we're ever going to be without fault. There's no way that we're ever going to be without things that go wrong, or things that happen, or dust floating over and getting cars dirty. There's always going to be things that happen. There's always going to be things that go wrong. But it's how you deal with it is whether you're going to be successful or not successful. It's how you deal with it, whether you're going to get good karma, bad karma, good energy, bad energy. And it's just a matter of doing the right thing. At the end of the day, doesn't matter if you're an employer, doesn't matter if you're an employee, do the right thing. You know, there was a couple episodes ago, Shane and I talked to you guys about an employee that says, hey, I think I got shorted 10 minutes. Well, when I do the math and I look at 10 minutes, that's like, or 15 minutes, that's like $12.50. Well, I look at $12.50 a little different than another guy looks at $12.50. $12.50, that might be 2 lunches. So you have to be, you have to be respectful. You have to be compassionate when we're dealing, and it goes both ways. It's absolutely a two-way street. But the reason I say that is, if you always set out to do the right thing, you'll never have problems. Now it might sting a little bit, like my friend that has to pay out $200,000. It's a hell of a lot better than $200,000. I mean, it's better than $17 million or $15 million. But it's going to sting a little bit. But you know what? After he gets this done, I guarantee he will be a better employer. He will be a better business owner. And like I've said 1,000 times, maybe not 1,000 times on these podcasts, but I've said it 1,000 times to the people that I like and that I love and that I respect, that I talk to, is this is just a cost that he has to pay. It's the tuition that he has to pay for what he doesn't know. And that's it, plain and simple. And I guarantee he'll be a better business owner tomorrow. It was just simply the tuition he had to pay for what he doesn't know. So anyway, that's from Les Brown. That's not mine, that's from Les Brown. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for PAGA. Keep the lines of communication open. Keep the lawyers out of the mix. I mean, being a lawyer is a big business, and so I think all the employers can be better suited by keeping the lawyers out of the mix and just settling things amongst yourself. Now, if you have a stubborn business owner and he doesn't want to play ball, well then, hey, the lawyers are there waiting like sharks. They're just circling like sharks. So anyway, you guys have a good day. Peace. We're out.